Hello, everyone. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and it is Election Day 2020. And New York City is currently not burning. If you're watching this in the future and it's a time capsule, uh, around 12 noon on November the 3rd, 2020, New York City was calm and relatively normal. The people of New York City, in their homes mostly, still locked down because of the COVID epidemic. Uh, they're stressed. They seem a little stressed out. I'm not gonna lie, people seem a little iffy. I was not even sure. I was like, oh, should I go to the gym tonight? Should I eat out? Is that a bad idea? Is it gonna be crazy? But so far, it's not. Which leads us to the question: can your employer ask you who you voted for? And if he or she does ask you who you voted for, can they do anything about it? Now, this might shock you, but who you voted for, your political beliefs, are actually not protected on the federal level. Your political leanings are not a protected class under federal law. So it comes down to individual states. You got some states like New York, public employees, employees working for the government, have a lot of protections under a set of like rules that come from the 1800s that are kind of tied to protecting municipal and state workers from when the new boss comes in, not just firing everybody and only hiring his buddies or her buddies, whatever it is. Um, so government employees in New York are protected, and the New York State human rights law. There's a lot of arguments made that provides some protections for political leanings as well. Although there's always these efforts to tie it into other things, religion, and it's a little bit tenuous. It's not a sure thing. It's always an uphill fight if you're trying to use the New York human rights law to protect political leaning or political beliefs. In my experience. Now, that being said, it is at least protected to some extent in New York, right? It's definitely protected. It's almost explicitly protected in California, Colorado, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, Nevada, South Carolina, and West Virginia. That's great. It's also a pretty short list, right? Um, there's a lot of examples of employers coming out and telling their employees who to vote for, or being really heavy-handed with what they're saying to their employees, and to some extent they're going to have that freedom of speech. They're going to be able to say what they want to say, except if they're terminating people in that list of states, right? And I would add New York to that list of states because there's some question there, and there's a few other states that are in question as well. But generally speaking, if you're in a state where you don't have those protections, and you think your boss, whether he or she is a leftist, a rightist, a Green Party, a libertarian, whoever, maybe they're a communist. I don't know, right? Where it could be the most despicable party of all, right? Let's not forget Austria recently made a coalition government with a small component of their Nazi party in like 2017, I think, 2018 maybe. Um, Insane that happened, unbelievable, horrific. But if that's who your boss is, you probably have a discrimination claim. More importantly, separately. But from a political standpoint, you may not have the protections you're hoping for, and that's incredible, right? That is shocking. It's a glaring oversight on the federal side, in my opinion. So here's the thing: if you're in a state and your boss, she or he, is a real SOB, pardon my language, um, don't get into it. Evade. I'm not going to tell you to lie. I'm not going to tell you not to stand up for your beliefs. I would never say that to you. But I'm here to worry about your job, right? I'm here to worry about your livelihood. First and foremost, that's my role. That's my duty. That's my responsibility. And if you're in a state where you don't have these protections, think about your job first. If that question comes floating across the table in an interview or at lunch or just performance review, whatever it is, think about your job, because if you have to turn to an employment attorney, you may have limited options, you may have limited protections. All right. Good luck out there. And Election Day 2020. Stay safe, everyone.